Mental health has been a more prevalent conversation in the last handful of years, and now we have hard data backing up a serious problem for our youth. The state of Tennessee released their State of the Child report. It's a breakdown of some of the issues that children are facing in our state. Our Aaron Rodgers has more on the changes doctors and families are hoping to make.
What she just did could have ultimately took her life.
Shaylin Wallace's daughter is a sophomore in high school, but in 5th grade, she attempted to take her own life.
It's not always the big red flags. It could be minor things, any shifts in mood. You know, it's really hard, her being a teenager, you know, trying to figure out, you know, is this her being a teenager or is there something more going on?
Child therapist and child help director Vonda McGill says this is a situation for many children and teens.
We started to see an increase in suicidality during the pandemic, and it's really not gone down much.
Tennessee's 2024 State of the Child report breaks down some of the issues children face here in Tennessee, including mental health. In 2024, when high schoolers were asked if they had ever thought about taking their own life in the last year, nearly 1 in 4 had, and 1 in every 5 had made a plan to do so, and more than 1 in every 7 had attempted to take their life.
It is a staggering statistic and very sad that we have children and teenagers that are dealing with things in their lives that are creating this hopelessness in them and a desire to die.
McGill says one of the biggest things that parents or anyone can do is to listen to the child and get them the help that they need.
I think it's important not to be afraid to talk about suicide and not to ask questions. We do want you to ask questions. If you have a teen or a child that you are worried about them feeling suicidal, it's important to ask them to talk about it.
And some children will talk about it if they feel safe. Shaylin's daughter approached her school counselor.
I am so grateful. She was very close to a lot of her teachers, her guidance counselor at the school that she was at the time. That made a world of difference, that she felt the doors were open to talk.
That open door can be the change. In the same study mentioned earlier, out of those students who had attempted to take their own lives, 1/3 of them had reached out to someone for help beforehand. Now, Shaylin and professionals just hope to bring awareness to the importance of open conversations because they can be life-saving.
I'm very proud of her. She has not let this stop her. She just keeps on going.
In a long-term study, it showed of people with medically serious suicide attempts, 3 out of 4 were still alive 20 years later. In Knoxville, Aaron Rodgers, WVLT News.
Now, there are several available resources for children, teenagers, and adults struggling with suicidal thoughts. One resource is to call 988. That is the National Suicide Lifeline. We also have other resources in the WVLT News app. Just click on the As Seen On section.